100 calls and 150 emails sent with 0 meetings booked. This was on Wednesday, and we have our weekly review on every Friday. My manager was asking me, I hope everything is set for this week and we are on track as per plan. This was me in the initial years of my sales career, with no SDRs, no call scripts, or no fancy tools like Sales Navigator, Apollo, or Lucia. That's when I realized this is the case with majority of the people around me. They were feeling like they're in a desert with no direction or no clue what to do next. Now, I understood this is not an area where I want to stand for a long time, so I started researching how to get better. Now, I started learning from the top 10% people from my organization. I started looking at YouTube, learning from other people, and I understood to get better in sales, you have to clear your foundation. That is by building a system and discipline that helps you bring more numbers. And today, I'm going to show you exactly the 7 steps that I followed to build pipeline consistently, irrelevant of the industry that you're in, automotive, insurance, bank, or any other places as well. These 7 steps will help you build the foundations so that you can keep building your pipeline. A quick heads up, this is a video that I'm creating for sales professionals across any industry, irrespective whether you're catering to B2C, B2B, or D2C. I've just attached a PDF below which consists of prompt. You can copy paste it and add your own custom items, which will help you personalize and tweak this as per your industry and as per your requirements. Further, you can take it and start using it in your own day-to-day operation. Before we jump into the video, a quick introduction for people who are new to this. My name is Shankar and I work as an account executive with Freshworks. I have been selling SaaS platforms for a living for the last 6 years, 5 years into Indian markets and 1 year into Australian markets, sitting in India. Now, the framework that I'm going to share right now is not something that I've learned from a course or a LinkedIn framework, but rather I have been doing this for the last 6 years and I have made multiple mistakes. After streamlining multiple times, this is something that I've landed at last. So I would like to share this with you as well so that you can save much more time and efforts rather than figuring it out on your own. Here's the biggest mindset shift that happened to me, and it took a long time for me to understand this. I assume sales is an event. As soon as a customer signs a deal or gives you a go-ahead, automatically that is considered as a sale. But I understood that sales is a step-by-step process that is followed when you have a systematic process in place. Now, it does not matter if you have a pipeline full of deals and you're closing left, right, and center for a few months. But if you have to be consistently in top performing group, you have to have a system and you have to be disciplined about following this process consistently for a long period of time. Because when you're closing deals and you stop following the process, after the deals are closed, you don't have any conversations to have, or you don't have any prospects to negotiate or convert a deal into. So instead of copying a playbook that's already out there, I understood what my scenario looks like and I personalized the system which works better for Indian customers and Indian ecosystem. So let's get started with the 7 simple steps. And as I mentioned, you can always take this and put it to an AI model to personalize it as per your requirement. The first point is to know your industry before you know your product. Most reps, including me, I used to spend hours or weeks into learning the product features compared to learning customer business. Now, what I do is, before I enter into any segment or any conversation, I would like to learn the industry better so that the conversation that I have with customers are in their language. So there are a few questions like what's happening in their industry, what are the recent trends that are changing, what is the major problem statements that the customers face in this particular industry, what are the metrics that they discuss in the leadership meeting when they're having a roundtable discussion. And there are a few other pointers that you can definitely learn about whichever industry you're going or whichever consumer or prospect that you're going to talk to. It can be B2C, it can be retail, e-commerce, logistics, software, or any other industry. I feel when you're talking in their language, when you're talking in the metrics that they track, automatically they start getting interested in the conversation and they feel you have done your research and you would like to solve their problem rather than just selling them your product that they're not even interested in. The second point is building a targeting system for you. Now, when I was in sales initially, I used to target random prospects on any given day. I used to open LinkedIn or Sales Navigator, create a list, and I just used to give them a call. Most probably, I might not even give them a second call after a week or so. Now, this way, I was just randomly prospecting and there was no outcome of this particular reach outs that I'm doing. I observed the highly performing A's there and I understood that people who are performing, they used to create a set of accounts that they want to target. It can be in a range of 100 to 200 accounts, and they used to set up a proper outreach sequence, which can be considered in email, LinkedIn, phone, or borderline numbers as well. Now, what they used to do is they used to map out 4 ICPs in total, and they used to reach out to all 4 or 6 ICPs in that particular organizations, take names of this particular ICPs and try to book a meeting with one person. Now, when I started following this process, creating an account list, targeting them, hyper-focusing in 4 or 5 channels and reaching out to multiple ICPs, trying to create a meeting agenda and getting into a 15 minutes call, and then eliminating majority of the accounts that are not working out for me, I started seeing results and I started seeing that my pipeline is getting built. The third point is very simple, a weekly ritual that you have to place. It can be placed on a Monday morning or it can be placed on a Friday evening. I definitely have this on a Monday morning because that's when I start my week, and taking this 60 to 90 minutes before I start anything helps me plan the week way ahead of the time that I have to invest into this. So this 60 to 90 minutes bucket, basically what you have to do is look or review the overall account book that you have, the number of accounts that you have in this particular account book, the number of active conversations that you're having where till now the meeting is not yet booked, but you're still trying to book and the customer seems interested. And segregate a third bucket wherein basically you can see there are active conversations happening, the meeting is booked, and now how are you strategizing to move ahead with this? What is your plan of action to build momentum in closing this particular deal? Now, after you review all this, basically you have to review what are the set of accounts which are not at all interested and you don't seem that any conversation is going to happen here. Just move them out of your bucket and reinstall them with new accounts so that you have active conversations or new accounts where you can start prospecting to new customers. This way, when you start with your week, automatically you have a new confidence or new set of accounts that you can start working with, and your week does not go waste. A healthy pipeline definitely gives you confidence, not only because you're not relying upon one single deal for that entire month, but also you're confident that in any given point of time, if you are given a set of accounts, you're able to build conversations and close more meetings and bring more revenue to the company. Point 4 is to create a master AE sheet. I'll explain you what this consists of, but I want to give you a context of why to create this sheet. Now, you would be able to relate with me if you are on sales calls on a daily basis, because when I used to be on calls previous time, whenever a customer gave me a reply or gave me an objection, I used to find answers over the call. Now, because of this, the customer also understood that I am not ready with the answers. I'm trying to create an answer to satisfy him. Now, what happens is this shows a signal that I'm not much aware of the industry or the product that I'm selling right now. Initially, when I was observing the top performing AEs, and I used to see whenever we used to go with an objection or a problem statement the customer threw, their answers were very instant. It felt like they have scripted it, but it's all memorized in their brain. Now, I did not understand how did they do that, but when I started learning about this, it's more like you prepare a document in which you have all the customer stories, the pain points, very frequent objections that you have, what are the product USPs that you have, the competitors' pricing and overall features that they are strengthened in and that they are weaker from us. So when you have everything in one single place and you keep that document printed or let's say in front of your PC, whenever you're going for a call and you start using this in front of your eyes, I believe after a week or so, this becomes a muscle memory. And as soon as someone asks you about this, your answers are very instant without looking for filler words like and you don't have to search for answers over the call itself. As soon as you start using this document, as soon as you start taking references from things that are already prepared and written, you would be able to structurally respond back to the customer rather than constructing that over the call itself. Now, this requires efforts wherein you have to collate everything into one single document and it will take some time from your end. But this extra effort that you're going to put will definitely show results in the cold calls that you're going to make, right? I believe preparation creates confidence, and confidence will help you create better conversations that will lead to meetings, and meetings will lead to sales. Point 5 is to disqualify as soon as possible. When I was in my initial days, I used to feel that I have a set of accounts. I have invested time and efforts into reaching out to them. And before disqualifying them, I used to feel that might be next week they will give me a meeting. This way, I used to stick to these accounts and I used to keep adding new accounts into this, which overall disrupted my overall system. Now, the top performing AEs that I saw that time was they used to create a set of accounts to reach out. After a period of time, when they feel they're not going to close in the next 60 days or let's say next 6 months, depending on the industry that you belong to. Some sales cycles are in 24 hours, some are 24 days, some are 24 months. So depending on SMB to enterprise, you can take this call according to you. But I feel disqualifying accounts at the earliest is something that will help you keep moving on. Because if you see the total addressable market that you have might be large, and only sticking to 200 accounts is limiting a bird not to fly. So I feel you have to look at accounts that are working out for you, where you are able to have active conversations, where you feel they're going to move forward, just separate them from the list and disqualify everything else. Now, how do you disqualify accounts is something which is very important. Now, you have to have a proper system in that place also, so that you don't disqualify the wrong account. Now, ideally what I follow is basically you have a 4-step areas through which you reach out to customers. It can be calls, LinkedIn, email, and colleagues network. That is the area how you reach out. And there should be approximately 60 days of reach outs spread across, let's say 45 touch points. Now, this is based on my industry that I follow, and we say that it takes around 7 to 11 touch points to get a conversation. So this way I used to follow a system. When I have a set of accounts, I used to checklist a few set of reach outs that I make, and after all these reach outs and efforts that I have made, if they still do not progress or qualify, I don't waste much time over there and I just remove them from my account list and add new accounts into this. I assume it's very easy to say, but when you try disqualifying or removing accounts from your list, there is huge amount of resistance that comes in and you get stuck in that loop itself. So disqualify as soon as possible after following all the steps and don't get stick to that particular setup. Point 6 is networking. This is one of my favorite points in the entire list, and I feel this is one of the underrated topic that no one talks about in sales. Now this depends which industry you fall into, what is the product that you're selling, but let me give you a very quick example that might establish the relevance here. When I was in college, we used to have a very big group of 30 people. Now, one of my friend's cousin who joined Slice as a territory manager was given a territory, and our college fell in that particular territory. He came to college one random day, and because he got introduced, two of my friends got onboarded with Slice credit card. Now, he knew that every college group has their own WhatsApp group, and he asked them to drop this message in the group. If anyone wanted credit card, they can just reach out to him. Now, this created a domino effect because the 30 people in the group definitely got onboarded because they needed money. But apart from this 30 people, they started pushing it to their friends, and he started getting referrals without making any effort. So I feel if he had positioned a stall there and he wanted to sell one to one person, that would have taken so much of time and efforts to sell the credit card onboarding. But when he came into a group and some friends referred him their friends, automatically this trust factor got built, and the onboardings were so quick that they just had to fill the details and complete the KYC process, and the fillings were done. Try getting into places like sports clubs or industry events, founders communities, or there are groups in Facebook where people come together. Now here the conversations happen without a sales agenda, and don't think that you're trying to close them or try to sell them within this week or next week. Try to build conversations, try to get into networks so that even after a year or two, you don't know where the opportunity can come from. Someone you have met right now or today, you had a conversation with them, could be the manager for the next organization that you're trying to interview. So this kind of networks, this kind of impact that you have when you have network with people can help you at any point of time. So try maximizing the networking that you can have so that the opportunities door open up for you, not only in sales for the current organization or the current industry, but a long term, let's say for the next 5 years or next 10 years, you have good amount of people who you can talk to, ask a referral to, or ask at least to introduce to their friends or families. This way you will be able to build a good amount of people that you can reach out to and start making sales. Point 7 is very contradictory compared to what everyone says on online platforms or even your managers. Everyone says you have to get maximum number of meetings, you have to keep prospecting. Now I would say you should keep your calendar empty for at least 30% of the time so that you have enough time to strategize what to do. You have enough time to research on the prospects on how to reach out to them. And rather than random reach outs and increasing the volume, I would suggest or I would recommend definitely to increase the quality by reducing the volume but reaching out to the right number of people and the right number of accounts that you have. This will ensure that you have your peace of mind, you don't burn out. You're consistently doing meetings compared to your instant motivation where you book meetings for the next 2 weeks and after that you are not able to do anything because of the burnout. So I feel do it in small chunks, in less volume, in a qualitative way so that you can completely perform this for the entire year without feeling the burnout. So try to keep your calendar at least 30% off wherein you book meetings, 2 to 3 meetings in a day as based on your industry, however, whichever you fall into. But try to keep some empty space in your calendar so that you can have time to strategize, think, and then reach out to accounts that you want to close. So let's recap the points that we covered in this video. 1, know your industry before you know your product. Second, have a targeting system in place so that you know your ICPs, who you're reaching out to and what you're talking to them. Have a weekly ritual so that you can revisit your accounts, remove the unnecessary accounts, segregate what are the next action plans for the accounts that you have active conversations with. Build a TAM so that you know the accounts that you're reaching out to. Have a quality TAM rather than volume of numbers that you can reach out to with no output that is going to come out of it. Build relationships or networks outside the sequence that you have, that is on calls, emails, LinkedIn's and normal reach outs that you do. Try to get into clubs and events so that you can build network from there. And have some clean space in your calendar so that you get time to think, relax and reset for the next call or let's say next meeting that you have to do. Because I feel I have been there where you stand, and at my initial days I was looking for shortcuts, I was looking for luck so that it can work out for me and I can close some deals. But in sales, neither does emotion work, neither does shortcuts. If you have to perform consistently without pressure, without feeling manager on your head all the time, you have to build a system that helps you in long term, and you can implement this to build a pipeline and start closing deals. Over the next few days, I'm going to break down each and every step into a detailed video so that you get a step-by-step execution plan and you can execute this to create your own system in place. If you are into sales and you would like to have practical systems in place compared to motivational video that's available on YouTube, you would like to see how a AE works, what are the day-to-day operations and what are the things that happen in the SaaS industry overall, stay tuned to this channel, subscribe, and I would be releasing videos very soon. In the next video, I'll show you the step-by-step process to do a detailed analysis and research before you reach out to any industry or a user persona. So I'll see you there.